He hadn't smiled in 3 years, not since the night everything he believed about love collapsed. So he made a promise. Never again. No love, no attachment, no weakness. And then she walked into his world and treated him like he didn't matter. If you love emotional billionaire romance stories filled with secrets, heartbreak, and unexpected love, subscribe and step into the next story with us. Dominic Hale was the kind of man people feared. Cold, controlled, untouchable. He owned one of the largest investment firms in London. People lowered their voices when he entered a room. Employees straightened their posture. Executives avoided disappointing him. But none of that mattered anymore. Not after what happened 3 years ago. Back then, he believed in love, trusted easily, opened his heart too quickly, until the woman he planned to marry destroyed him. She leaked confidential information, exposed private business deals, and disappeared without looking back. The scandal nearly ruined him. The media mocked him. His competitors circled like vultures. And from that day forward, Dominic Hale stopped believing in love. The first time he saw her, nothing dramatic happened. No music, no breathtaking moment. Just a woman walking through the lobby, like she belonged there. Aria Cole, new employee, quiet, calm, almost forgettable, almost. Because unlike everyone else, she didn't react to him. She didn't stare, didn't panic, didn't try to impress him. And somehow, that bothered him more than it should have. The meeting room went silent when Dominic entered. As always, people sat straighter. Some avoided eye contact entirely, but not her. She continued reviewing documents without even looking up. Dominic noticed immediately. After the meeting, he stopped beside her desk. "You're new." She looked up calmly. "Yes." No nervousness, no smile, nothing. He didn't take notes. "I didn't need to." A dangerous answer, especially to a man like him. But she didn't seem concerned. She simply gathered her files and walked away, leaving Dominic standing there, watching her.
At first, he told himself it was irritating, nothing more. But then he started noticing her everywhere. She never stayed late to impress anyone, never laughed at fake office jokes, never joined conversations she didn't care about, and most importantly, she treated Dominic Hale like he was ordinary. For the first time in years, someone wasn't trying to get something from him. And that curiosity slowly became dangerous. Dominic began creating reasons to interact with her. Extra assignments, late meetings, unexpected requests. He watched carefully, waiting for her composure to crack. It never did. One evening, after everyone else had left, he stopped her near the elevator. "Do you always act like this?" She frowned slightly. "Like what?" "Like none of this matters." For a second, she just stared at him, then quietly said, "Because I've already seen what happens when it does." And before he could respond, the elevator doors closed. That answer stayed with him, longer than it should have, because it sounded familiar, not the words, the pain behind them. Days later, he saw her alone in the office after midnight. The building was silent, dark, empty. She sat at her desk, staring at absolutely nothing. And for the first time, her calm expression disappeared. Just for a second, but it was enough. Pain, real pain. Then she noticed him and immediately hid it again. But Dominic had already seen it. And suddenly, he no longer saw her as distant. He saw someone protecting herself, just like him. After that, something shifted between them. Dominic stopped trying to challenge her, stopped testing her reactions. Instead, he started talking to her. Normally, small conversations at first, work, coffee, late nights in the office, and slowly, the silence between them became comfortable. One rainy evening, the power briefly went out inside the building. The entire office fell dark. Aria laughed softly, the first genuine emotion he had ever heard from her. And somehow, that tiny sound affected him more than it should have. "You actually smile," he said quietly. She looked at him. Rarely, but it happens. Over the next few weeks, something dangerous began happening between them. Not love, not yet, but closeness, the kind neither of them planned for. Dominic started waiting for her voice during meetings, started noticing when she looked tired, started remembering small things she mentioned casually, and Aria hated herself for noticing it too, because this was never supposed to happen. One evening, after a brutal day of meetings, Dominic invited a few executives to dinner. Professional, nothing personal. Aria tried refusing, but somehow she still ended up there. The restaurant was quiet, elegant. Soft piano music drifted through the room. For the first time, Dominic looked relaxed, human, and for a moment, Aria forgot why she came into his life in the first place, until his phone buzzed. Dominic glanced at the screen briefly, then stood up. "I need to take this." As he walked away, his phone remained on the table. The screen is still glowing. Aria looked down accidentally and froze. It was a photograph, old, slightly damaged. A younger Dominic stood beside another man, smiling, happy, unrecognizable. But that wasn't what terrified her. The other man in the photo was her father. Suddenly, she couldn't breathe. Because the man she spent years hating, the man she believed destroyed her family, once stood beside her father like a brother. And at that moment, everything she believed began falling apart. When Dominic returned, he immediately noticed her expression. "What happened?" Aria stood too quickly. "I should go." "Aria?" But she was already walking away. That night, for the first time since entering his life, Aria cried because she realized something horrifying. She might have been sent to destroy the wrong man. For the first time in years, Dominic didn't feel empty anymore. He started looking for her without realizing it, noticing when she arrived, when she left, whether she seemed tired, and that terrified him, because this was exactly how it started before. Attachment, trust, hope, things he promised himself never to feel again. Then one evening, everything changed. A routine employee verification file landed on his desk. Nothing unusual. He almost ignored it completely, until he saw her name, Aria Cole. Not real. Dominic frowned immediately, and as he kept reading, his expression slowly hardened. Every page revealed another lie, another hidden detail, another secret. She hadn't entered his life accidentally. She was sent there. He found her later that night, standing alone outside the building, rain falling softly around her. "Who are you?" No anger, no shouting, just disappointment. Aria looked at him quietly, almost sadly. Then she said, "Someone who should have left a long time ago. You lied to me." "Yes, and you stayed anyway." That hurt more than the lies. Because deep down, he already knew the truth. She didn't mean to stay long enough to care. But she did. Dominic should have walked away, should have protected himself, should have become cold again. But he couldn't, because somehow, the woman who entered his life carrying secrets became the only person who ever saw the parts of him he tried to bury. And despite everything, she never tried to impress him, never chased him, never begged for his attention. She simply existed, honestly, quietly, painfully human, and that was exactly what broke down his walls. He swore he would never love again. But this time, he didn't know if he wanted to stop himself anymore. If this story stayed with you, don't forget to subscribe for more emotional, cinematic love stories filled with secrets, heartbreak, and unexpected endings.